G'day everyone. Proud to say Barkarati is brought to you by Radix Nutrition, makers of the most technically comprehensive nutrition products that have ever existed. Unlock your potential with Radix.
Jeez, that sounds good.
G'day listeners. Welcome to Barkarati, the Sailing Podcast. My name's Jordan Spencer and it's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors. But of course, I have to share the mic with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's welcome Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
Now.
I didn't say hello yet, bud.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, bud.
Hello, bud. Now, let's talk about Bicey and his briskets. Is it real or is it a fictional character in his little world that he lives in?
I don't know. No, it's 100% real. He loves his smoker. But BP, as we say this, I'm sitting in your house.
Right next to me.
Yeah, and you've just fired up the barbecue. And my God, you've got your own smoker. You threw a lot of smoke off that barbecue, mate.
I follow the Letterkenny recipe of Wagyu beef.
And it was perfect.
4 minutes either side, one turn for perfect grill lines.
Yeah, it was perfect. It really was. I'm not going to. I'm not even going to do the intro. Bicey is a no-show.
He's a no-show. Get the crickets though.
Oh, okay. So,
he had a voice that could make
there
a
he is.
Wolverine
We're calling for Mr. Nick Bice. He's not here. No, he is not here. Crickets.
No, not to be found.
So Bicey, of course, has just finished the Millennial Cup, and then he's in transit, and he's off to the Caribbean next. So. It's going to be hard to get in for the next few weeks, but we will do our best, but we haven't in this one. But I'm based here in Sydney because I'm here for Sail GP, so we've got a lot to talk about on that front.
What a day it was.
What a day it was. It was just insane.
Yeah. And I've got to say, congratulations to Bice as well on the Mighty Sea Eagle.
Yeah.
First regatta. I mean, that thing is a weapon. Could you imagine sailing on that thing?
I don't know what you do on it, but anyway.
Well, he's the entertainment.
He's the entertainment.
He's in charge of entertainment.
There you go. Speaking of entertainment, we've got a great guest today. I'm quite excited to bring this guest on because he's just won the B14 World Champs with his crew, and I wanted to bring him on because when you go actually look at the resume,
it's not bad.
Definitely an up-and-comer, like one of the future champions. So he sailed with a young lass by Lucy Loughton, so I want to make sure we give full recognition to her. But our guest today is Chris Bateman, the new B14 World Champion, mate. It's great to have you on the show.
Cheers, lads. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Mate, you're a little legend, aren't you? Like you're only a young fella, but you've showed up pretty strong your whole life, as far as I can work out. And your little brother and you, was it, I'm trying to work out, little brother and you had a bit of a flash performance as well.
Well, it's funny you bring him up. Yeah, we won the All-Ireland a couple of years ago when he was 9.
On the B14?
No. They bring everyone into, I don't know what the boat was, but it's like you get all the champion sailors from different classes together and put them on a,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And a 9-year-old, and they won the whole thing. Oh, it was just fantastic. I love that. I was looking at the photos, mate. It looks amazing.
Cheers, thanks. It looks a bit different now. He's 15 now and he's 6'4".
Wow.
Okay, so you're 20. What are you? 24.
I'm 23.
23, and how tall are you?
I'm only 5'9", 5'10".
Wow.
Right. So, is there a milkman or a postman involved in this story, or?
Well, I tell you what the difference is. I live in the UK now, and he still lives in Ireland.
There it is. Guinness. He's on the Guinness.
Yes.
Now, mate, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show because I feel like you're a future star because everything you've turned your hand to in the sport, you've done very, very well, and you've done it in clever ways. First off, let's talk about home for you. So you're from the Cork region, so that beautiful bit of water that you can sail on where the world's oldest yacht club's there, but that's not your club, is it? You're not out of Cork Yacht Club, are you?
Well, a mixture. I sail out of Monkstown Bay Sailing Club is my main one.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I would have sailed in the Royal Cork quite a lot. Yeah.
And great sailing and a lot of history there, and it's an amazing part of the world. And when you actually go there, you can see it's a good stomping ground to go sailing on. From your perspective, though, like the achievements that you've managed to start to pull together have been quite impressive. Now, why do you think what's the love for sailing for you, and how did you get into it?
Oh, well, so I was sort of thrown into it from pretty much when I was born. My parents actually met through international 14s.
Nice.
So my dad was one of the few 14 sailors in Ireland, and he decided that my mum should crew for him. They weren't married at this stage, so she jumped in the boat with him, and after a couple of years of sailing together, they got married.
Well, that's an interesting thought, considering sailing together and then marriage after that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, normally it's sailing together, then divorce after that.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
But I've actually, in preparing for this show, my friend, you have a YouTube channel where you publish a bit of stuff on YouTube, and I've watched you on the YouTube, and it's from on the boat, and so you can quite clearly hear how you speak with the people you sail with, and it's really nice. Like, you've got a really lovely style. Like, you're very relaxed. You're very positive. Like, is that how you've always been, or is that just for video?
Oh, well, to be honest, it's I don't think about it much. I've been told it depends on who I sail with. So I actually sail these days. So my partner is Lucy, and we teamed up a while back. And I never feel angry or stressed, but if I'm sailing with somebody that is sort of the pressure up, then I might get a bit more.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, I don't really feel it's necessary to get loud. You know what they say, a loud boat is a slow boat. So
yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
Yeah.
When everyone's quiet on board, everyone's just doing their job, executing their roles. But I think, from my mind, watching you, I think I watched a few things. There was some footage of you sailing you were sailing an international 14 on Lake Garda. I watched that. There was some footage of you sailing the B14 in Sydney, pre-Worlds, and that was with Lucy, and I watched that. And I don't know who you were sailing. That wasn't Lucy in Garda, was it?
No, I was sailing with Pia Ellerbeck, who would be Cam Tweedle's partner. They actually invited me out to sail with Pia in her I-14, which was pretty spectacular.
The conditions looked amazing, BP. You should see.
No. You don't need to remind me. Garda's Garda. Hey, so you've come down to Sydney for the B14s. Had you been down to Sydney before? You sailed in the harbour before?
Never. So it was my first time in Australia.
All right. Well, tell us about that, because you got to understand. I've pretty well been here for the last 25 years, and every time I come back here, I remind everyone here that they all take it for granted. How do you feel about sailing on the harbour?
I have to say, the first day we did it was probably the worst day we could have gone out. It was full of helicopters, motorboats.
Oh, was that the 26th of December by any chance?
No, it wasn't. But I remember we were about 20 seconds out the harbour, and we're both a bit nervous about it because we'd heard all about sharks and things like that. So we're on our way out, and this massive super yacht crashed right in front of us. We hit the wake of it. No joke, came clean out of the water.
Oh, yeah, that's normal.
Yeah. Well, we hadn't done it before, and so that was our experience in Sydney. But I have to say, the place was beautiful, and when the harbour emptied out a bit, it was the most amazing experience.
It's kind of like it's got a life of its own. The harbour, when it empties out, when you go sailing on the harbour, it's got busy periods, it's got slow periods. There's even periods where you're out there on your own and there's no one there. And it's one of those places that just sort of it's got a pulse of its own. You're right. I like the way you explain that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I have to say, the second day we went out was beautiful. It was a nor'easter. We went out with one other B14. Our first time going up against a quick B14 as well.
Yep.
And it was just the two of us left in the harbour. It was late. The sun was going down. We were blasting up and down in 20 knots of wind. I have to say, it was a surreal experience.
Yeah, yeah. And then when you bear away at the top up near Manly and come down, spinnaker the whole way down the harbour and just flat out.
Oh, flat out. Yeah, we went from Manly all the way down the harbour, under the bridge, around the island.
Oh, that far.
Up.
Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice work. Yeah, good. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Now, Chris, it's interesting. Like you said, it's the first time sailing against a quick B14, and so you and Lucy have been training on the B14. You've picked the class; it's the right size for you guys, and you've gone out and obviously done all the work by yourself. Is that what's happened? And you sort of just worked in isolation?
Well, I have to say, we weren't very organised for this championship. So basically, Lucy and I met at a 14 event. She was sailing a B, and I was sailing an I. And
love that.
We literally decided then and there.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
She was sailing a B, and I was sailing an I.
Yeah. I agree. It sounded cool.
Yeah,
it was good.
Love it.
Yeah. So then and there we said, screw it. We'll get a B14. We'll buy one. We'll go to Sydney and we'll see how we get on. So that's exactly what we did. We bought a boat on site, literally threw it into the container. We sailed it twice before we left.
What?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, both times in Starcross Yacht Club.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we arrived and we got 3 days of training beforehand, where we got used to the boat.
But you've sailed Bs quite a lot in your life. No.
It was my first ever event.
Sorry, I missed that bit. I was feeding Jordan some fruit. No, but
we've never recorded together before, except in a yacht club. We're normally all spread around the world, and this is the first time. And so,
so I want to elaborate on that.
It's amazing. It is truly amazing.
I know a fair bit about the B14s. I've only sailed them once. So I actually did a lot of work with Julian in the 49er days when we were developing the 49ers and the FXs and Tazars even for that matter. But the B14 was not one of my focuses. But it's a very competitive fleet.
Yes.
And you've just rocked up. You've just rocked up and gone, fuck yeah.
Well, apparently so. We had no idea that anything like that was going to happen, to be honest. It just did.
Okay, so
first off, how did you jump into a new class to show up to the Worlds, and there was a couple of days it was blown out, I think it was, and then you had a Thursday, it was 4 races, and I think, did you get 4 firsts on that day or something like that? We
had 3 bullets and 1 second.
Right. Now,
what's a perfect scorecard?
Obviously, the boat was tuned for that weather. Was there, when you rigged up the boat, did you just rig it up how you leave the side stays at the tension they were and all that, or did you have a tuning guide or what?
No, so I never bother with tuning guides. Literally, so in the UK, what I did is I had a loose tension gauge. I followed what the lads said, the amount of tension needed on the fourth day. And then I literally raked it all the way back, and I haven't touched the settings since. So I didn't change the rig in Sydney.
Wow, that's insane. Yeah. That is insane. So I mean, you've done this amazing thing. Obviously, you've got the sailing ability. Like that, it's clearly evident by all the research I've done on you, and the sailing ability is there. Obviously, you and Lucy are working well together. But to jump into a class and just go, yeah, no worries, I'll go the front, thanks.
Okay, so let's.
That must have been a nice surprise.
It was a very.
Okay, so let's look at this from the other side. So you've got seasoned competitors in that fleet. That fleet has been around a long time. As I said, it's competitive, and there's people that have been sailing in that fleet for 30, 40 years. You show up and you've done what you've done. What have they said? How have they taken you?
Well, I have to say, not everybody took it that well.
Wow.
There was a little bit of consternation in the fleet, but I have to say, the Aussies were absolutely great. In the way that they treated us. They just said, Jesus, lads are going fast, well done, good stuff.
Yep. Typical Aussie attitude.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
So
they're
great.
fast, aren't they?
love it.
Yeah. So it was good. It was good. I have to say, I'm going to move, so I need to plug in my phone. Yeah, no, it was, it was a real surprise to us, but a very welcome surprise.
Oh, it's an amazing story. I mean, not only are you sailing in a completely new area. I mean, the harbour's got lots of tricky little.
That's a good point.
A lot of little tricky little ins and outs. We all. Well, I live here. I mean, we all like to think that we know the harbour, but every now and again it'll just bob up and go, they smashed it in the right. That's not meant to happen.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of just having boat speed. I mean, it's a matter of knowing where to go. So you've just nailed it on all fronts.
Yeah, well, it's I have to say I really like shifty conditions. It's windy and shifty is my favorite thing. And so we had both those things. And when it was southwesterly, was it southwest? Yeah, southwest. Coming from Shark Island, we absolutely. So we basically went in left. It was always a pin by it, so nailed the pin, went for a bit, and then when the wind got really dodgy under the headland, we'd always go in really far, literally hit the rocks, tack, but we'd go in further than anybody else would, and then we just literally play that corner.
Wow.
And just, we played it really well. And that was the day we managed to get 3 bullets.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And so the question then becomes, you've sailed, like, I've got you sailing all sorts of different boats from my records, but you jump into a B14, obviously winning the Worlds. You must have quite a positive vibe about sailing the B14. You must like the boat, I'm assuming now, because it's delivered for you.
Yeah, I do. I have to say the B really works really well. I've sailed 49ers and I've sailed 29ers, and I always find the 49ers just a bit of a pig to sail.
Yep, I agree with that one.
Yeah. Now, they're lovely boats. They go like a train upwind, but the B14 is sort of everything that the 49er and the 29er isn't, in my opinion. Like everybody can sail it. You can sail with your partner. You don't have to be a pro to sail it. It's not too expensive, and the best thing about it is you can go downwind in 2 meters of swell, absolutely sending it, and you feel safe. You don't feel like you're going to go over the bow.
Right.
Yeah. Although saying this, I was sailing over the weekend and managed to stick the nose under. Yeah.
But it's true what you say. I mean, the 49er is. You get to a top mark in 22 knots of breeze and try and bear away. I mean, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it is.
And I know for a fact that the B14s are a lot more forgiving. I14s are probably in between a B and a 49er in terms of that.
Yeah.
But it's true what you say. There comes a time where it's actually, you want to go sailing a boat that is not that close to the edge. It's a good point.
The other thing, with the B14, the only thing I reckon about them when I look at them is you've got to get a long way forward particularly in light winds, you've got to get a long way forward, and the wing doesn't carry far enough forward, so it takes a little bit of contortion from the crew.
The old front leg on the front of the boat sort of thing, up on the gunwale in the bow.
Yeah, it does. There's a little bit of that goes on. But I guess you had reasonably solid conditions, didn't you?
Oh, we did. It was howling. Absolutely howling. It was blowing dollars off chains for more than half the week.
Out of Woollahra, so obviously, you're a little sheltered in there when you come out, and then you're full exposed. It doesn't matter whether it's a nor'easter or a southerly.
Once you get out of Rose Bay and then get into the harbour, she's all on.
Actually, while you're there, bud, how'd you go with the planes coming into land? That's a first experience for you, was it?
Yeah, there was no problem that way. It was nice. It was nice when we arrived, so we had no issues.
Right. So, when you first come into Australia, like it's your first trip down under, did you have any expectations of what you were going to experience?
Honestly, no. I wasn't really expecting anything. It was quite a daunting experience, but by the time we got there, I was a bit shell-shocked from the flight, so I didn't notice much.
Right, so you weren't concerned about kangaroo, snakes, spiders, and lizards?
No, not really.
Good.
I was saying to Lucy, I was expecting a fight with a kangaroo at some stage. But
Yeah, it's such a funny thing. I love it. Well, get over in the States in particular. It's really bad. They go, so do you walk down the street and fight with kangaroos? Oh yeah, man, no problem.
Well, I'm not in the cities.
Yeah, we do.
You got to do it in the countries. But anyway,
Yeah.
But you sail, so you get to sail out of Woollahra. You do this Worlds. The B14. I guess a lot of people haven't sort of considered the B14, but like it's a performance skiff, but it's a hiking skiff if you don't know what it is. So you're not on trapeze, but you're on wings. You're out on the wings. You got a main, jib, and an asymmetric spinnaker. It pretty much, Julian, bless his cotton socks, he doesn't necessarily go too far, and that B14 is not that far from like the 18 design. It's actually not too different from what the 18 is that they use.
The original ones, yeah.
Yeah. So, and Julian was famously designed the 2-person 18 skiff, and the B14 are kind of is a smaller version of that boat. Is my view on it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously they've modernised it a bit where they've gone to carbon wing structures now and carbon wings, masts and stuff like that. So they've brought it up to speed. So it's still quite a modern skiff boat. Like it's a pretty cool boat.
It is pretty cool. I have to say the when you sail it, it feels stiff, it feels like a modern boat. But what people forget is that when you're on those wings, you're actually further out than when you're trapezing. So you've got all the leverage. It's beautiful.
Yep.
I have to say, you lads will get a kick out of this. Our boat basically fell apart in the pre-world. So just before the it hadn't been pushed for a long time, let's just say, and our boat was about 22 years old.
Yeah.
So anyway, basically what happened was we split the end of the carbon racks on both sides.
Nice. Yep.
This is true. I read this. Go on. This is good. I was going to get to this, so this is great. This is amazing. This is the most amazing World Championship win in the history of World Championship wins. Like everyone struggles for 40 years to win a World Champs. He gets a boat. 2 weeks later, he wins it. But this wing thing is insane. Hit us with your story, my friend.
Yeah. So, long story short, basically on the pre-worlds, it was the final day of the pre-worlds, and we were sailing along. It was pretty windy. We'd Nick Craig in front of us. We're in second, and we're blasting down the finish line. I'd overcooked the ley line a bit, so we're coming in hot, and the kite's sort of just we're curling it like in the mid.
Yep. Just hanging in there. Yep.
Yeah, just hanging in there, and so we're going along, and anyway, there was a massive bang, and next second my arse was dragging in the water.
You've just popped the wings off.
Literally split the end of it, popped it off. And
on the boat or the actual wing frame?
Yeah, the actual carbon itself.
On the boat.
All the way down the middle.
On the frames.
So the inner end. It was the inner
yeah,
end.
I gotcha. It's like she's just
but
compressed into nothing.
Literally, just completely popped. So yeah, that was annoying. And I sort of coming into the finish line, and I said, "Right, Luce, just drop the kite there, will you? Thanks." And so she dropped. It was all very calm. She dropped the kite, and I said, "Right, well, we better go in now." So we missed the last race, but we went in, and our rack. We were sort of looking at it, going, "Well, what do we do now?" So Richie, I don't know his second name, Richie and Lisa. Richie kindly offered to fix it for me.
Yep.
Got nothing out there. So he took the rack away, and he put a wrap of carbon on it. He fixed it up, bodged it up nicely for us. And we'd lost the plug that came out as well because, of course, the rack was up in the air. It blew off. But then the other one, it turned out, was breaking as well. We hadn't noticed. So rather than fix that one properly, I didn't want to ask Richie again. So I said, bugger it anyway. I went up to Bunnings, and I got a length of PVC pipe and some Jubilee.
For our international listeners, that's the local hardware store.
Where the sausage chisel
Where the sausage chisel is with onions.
Yeah. So what did you get?
So we got a length of PVC pipe.
And a sausage.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even have an angle grinder, so a bit of PVC pipe, cut it down with a hacksaw, and then some Jubilee clips, stuck it around it, and literally lashed the whole mesh back together.
Beautiful.
And we went off. We didn't even put tape over it. We kept the Jubilee clips exposed.
No, that's good for you. Good for grip.
Good for grip, exactly. And I sell barefoot, so I was a bit about it.
How cool is that?
But the irony, my friend, is Chris, you've Not only have you come to Australia and you're doing a world championship,
You've
and
gone
sailing,
to Bunnings to fix your boat.
You've done the Australian tradition on a Saturday arvo to go to Bunnings. I mean, we all do it. That's how we spend our weekends. We all go down to Bunnings, and we all have the sausage in the bread, the sausage sizzle, and we wander around Bunnings, and then we get our little project and we take it home and we put it in the garage and we forget about it. We don't. But you actually did the work and made your boat win a world. I just can't believe it.
It's a great story.
It is a great story. Like this whole PVC'd your wings together. It's just insane. It is insane. So
it was good crack, to be fair.
Good crack.
Good crack. Good crack.
The worst part of it.
It was a good crack on the other side.
So I'm guessing you didn't do a whole sail design campaign with a sail maker and all that sort of stuff at all.
Oh no, not at all. So I've actually never owned a new set of sails before. So I couldn't afford it. But when I met Lucy, she goes, "There's no way we're going all the way out there without getting a new set." So I said, "Well, I haven't got a clue what sails we need," and she didn't know either. She's only been sailing for 7 years. So
unbelievable. That's another story in itself.
Yeah, she didn't know, and so I was like, "Well, look, I wasn't. We live together now, but I wasn't living with her then." And so she said, "Well, I'll see what I can do." So she gets after me and she says, "Well, what about the North sails? Everybody uses those." And I said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So as it turns out,
give it
there
a crack.
Different types of North sails, and so we had no idea what we bought. But anyway, we went out there, put them up for the first time on the first day of the Worlds, and they were grand. They went fine. Sort of afterwards, we thought, well, we could have raced with the old sails. It wouldn't have mattered much, and we could have kept the new ones for some other day. But
I love it. I'm loving this conversation.
I know. This is why I love the Irish. My favourite people on the planet are hanging out with the Irish. I've got so many friends over there. I love the place. And you're from,
and he's a ginger.
And a ginger. That's right.
He might have to get a.
You know what he is?
He might have to get an invitation into the ginger challenge.
What this bloke is? He's not a ginger. He's a leprechaun, mate. He's got the luck of the Irish, right? Everything about your life is just luck. Obviously I'm not depreciating your sailing ability and Lucy's sailing ability in any way.
Yeah, let's not forget that.
Let's emphasise how good you guys must be. But no concern, no stress. Oh, the wing's broken. Well, we'll fix that.
We'll go down to Bunnings.
Let's just pull these sails up. They're all right. That's good. Maybe we need a little bit more off on the lowers, so we got the luff curve matched up. Yeah, we're good. Let's go for a sail. That's pretty much what you've done, isn't it?
Well, when you put it like
that, they didn't undo the lowers.
Well, okay. I did a VX Nationals. I borrowed a boat, got given a boat, and I remember going to the Nationals, and I was saying I had a similar experience where we're rigging the boat up, and I said to the guy next to us, do you know what rig setup, what tensions we put on this, how we're supposed to rig these up? I've never sailed the thing before. You do this. And we're sailing out to the start line, and the guy I'm sailing with, Fritz, I was sailing with Fritz.
Oh, yeah, righto.
And Bicey's sister. And we're sailing out to the start line. I said, I reckon the lowers might be a little tight. I reckon that luff curve's a bit more curved than what we've got.
A bit shallow.
Do you mind if I just let it off a little bit? Yeah, no worries. And then we just went out and just sailed above everyone and off the start line. And I think you've sort of, we had about 5 degrees on everyone, just off the start line, high, and we were a bit slow downhill, but that's right. But it's that whole experience, you just go in nice and innocent. Some days it happens.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true, yeah. Well, it's funny you mention it, because we had absolutely no idea if we were going to be quick or slow. And then when all this went wrong and everything broke on us, Lucy's the kind of person that likes everything to be exactly as is and working. So I don't mind. I'll take it as it comes, but she's very straight that way. So it took me about 2 days to calm her down afterwards, after all that. So when it was going on, you'd have her sort of running around being all impatient and, what are you doing? Why aren't you fixing it? And I was like, it's grand. Don't worry about it.
It's grand.
Having a crack. It's all grand.
Yeah.
All right. So let's. I'm astounded. I love it. I love the story. I love the background. I love the whole lot.
Yeah, I want to buy a B14 so I can go and just sit alongside you and just get in your head.
It's legendary status. I mean, So let's go to the presentation. You've won the Worlds. Was there a lot of people that come up to you and said, "Mate, unbelievable, well done"?
Well, there was a few. I didn't really count, but
no, but you know what I mean. It's like you go to an event, and all of a sudden you've done what you've done.
There's always
it's
respect for the world champions.
Yeah,
There's
bloody
always.
impressive. It's bloody impressive.
You can't just win a world championships by luck. Like, so that's, whilst we're laughing and carrying on, you two are good sailors. Clearly a good sailors. And that's, I just want to emphasise, while we're laughing at it, we're not discounting your abilities as sailors. It's
laugh all you want. That's what it's all about, really. I don't really mind. Like, sailing's just a bit of fun, you know. Like people take it way too seriously, you know.
Love it.
Yeah.
Like that's the point of it, really. But certainly with skiffs, I don't know. I always think, like, if you just drive it hard, drive it low, you know, like,
keep the speed on. Yeah, and I mean.
Yeah, but if you go hard and low, you have to hike hard, you know. And so most people don't want to do the hard yards.
That's what you don't like. That's what you don't like, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. The hard work, you know. Like, I like sailing high and slow because then I don't have to lean too hard. But you are clearly a dedicated athlete. That's what's coming across.
No, that's that wouldn't be the case now. I'm no athlete, but what I do is I dump a lot of main sheet.
Love it. Just go faster. Just find it. Press on the thing.
Yeah.
Let it breathe. Let it breathe, as we say.
Let it breathe. That's what I say too. Yeah. You gotta let it breathe. Especially with the jib. But I have to say, I sail barefoot. And what happens is with the bead, the hiking straps sit up a little bit higher. So by the end of the event, I literally had holes in my feet from hiking straps. Just rubbed all of it off. It was fresh.
Let me tell you about Australian hiking boots, mate.
Oh, no.
Let me give you the tip. So what you do while you're at Bunnings, you buy a roll of duct tape, right? And you wrap the duct tape around your feet, and then you go.
Yeah. Well, no joke. I was actually going to do that, and then I said, "No, I'm not that weak. I can go without."
I'm not like them Aussies.
Although I must say, otherwise, Vycobi makes some great technical sailing.
I thought you were going to head down your ballerina shoes.
No, the Vycobi technical gear is what I was going to suggest. The team at Vycobi we can probably get you a pair of shoes, mate. We can probably help you with some hiking boots.
Oh, thanks. I'll be all right, Phil. I'll be all right. I'm quite happy with it.
So let's
hang on. Anyway. You're an Irishman, mate. And you're based in the UK. The water's cold, son.
Oh, yeah.
Have you never thought of having warm feet?
Oh no, I stopped wearing boots a long time ago, and I don't feel the cold with them anymore. You know?
No, that's because you don't feel your feet.
But I hear I'm with Chris. Like, I grew up doing my windsurfing in Canberra Lakes, couldn't afford boots.
Nope.
And so all the feeling's gone. You don't feel anything in your feet anymore. Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
something like that.
Well, we've already talked about this. When I was sailing windsurfers, and I'd slam my back foot into the binders, into the foot straps, because I had no feeling in my feet. I always broke my little toe, and I always came in. Both little toes were pointing out at right angles because I had no feeling.
I've heard that one.
So it sounds like we've established that no one has feeling in their feet. It's a constant trait.
Yep.
No, I'm a shoe wearer.
But it is an interesting thing. So from a sailing equipment perspective, like, is it just an idiosyncrasy of yours? You don't run the boots, or do you not run gloves and hats and all that sort of stuff, or what?
No, I don't bother with gloves or hats.
Sunscreen.
Oh yeah, sunscreen.
How'd you go with the Australian sun? I mean, you're a ging, so you know.
Well, do you know, it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I've got worse burns in Italy and places like that, but I got out there, and so one of the days was it was pouring rain when we left, when we were launching. So everyone's hiding in the clubhouse, and we were out there ready to go, sails up. Like, come on, let's go! I was absolutely stoked to get on the water because it was just like Irish weather. So we were loving it, and we got out there, and we didn't put sunscreen on, of course, because it was raining, and the sun came out, and so I got a bit fried, unfortunately, but that was there.
You can't shortcut the Aussie sun, mate. I know the UV will get you. But
Okay.
I mean, I do love the fact that when the rain's coming down, it's home. You're just feeling comfortable. But I mean, my experience in Cork is beautiful, sunny, blue skies. Like it's been wonderful every time I've been there.
Oh, those 2 days.
I was there for a week.
Okay, Chris. So when did you arrive into Australia?
I think we arrived on the 20. Actually, we arrived sometime like the 20th of December. 19th of December was the day.
Right. Okay.
Because we travelled we flew into Brisbane, we rented a camper van, and then drove in the camper van from Brisbane down to Sydney.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So were you in the harbour at the start of the Great Race, Sydney Hobart?
No, we
missed that. Okay, that's all right. No, okay. So the next question is, you get to the harbour, and you've got your you're setting up for your regatta. All the other fleets and how busy the harbour is. How exciting is it? How cool is it?
Oh well, as I was saying, at first I was sort of thinking, Jesus, I don't know about this, but then it calmed down a bit. And it was quite nice actually.
But just all the other classes, like it's so cool to see all the other classes out there.
It really is, yeah. Like I can't remember what we saw. For me, it was actually the classic. I love classic. Yeah, that's my thing.
The hystericals. You would have seen a few of the hysterical 18s.
Yeah, they weren't out actually. They weren't out. I got offered a ride in one. Literally the day after I left, and I was like, oh, for God's sake! Like of all the time. But it was amazing. It really was amazing. I was sorry to not see the 18s because they had their nationals up in
Brisbane.
So
correct. Yep.
Yeah, so we missed that one. But other than that, really, it was amazing to see all of them. Yeah.
One of the interesting things with your regatta was you did a joint regatta, like with the Musto skiffs.
Correct.
So you were both sailing at the same time, same course. So you're effectively 2 starts, but 2 worlds alongside each other. I wonder, were the Mustos going before you or after you when you started?
So the Mustos were going before us, and they had to. There was a bit of talk around this because they needed more time to get around the court. Like they needed to be further. Their starts spread out from us. I think there was like an 8-minute spread out, but we were still sailing into the back of the Musto fleet, so it was a bit confused sometimes. But the front runners of the Musto guys are so quick.
But from a tactical perspective, it's a lovely thing for you because you can see all the layout, who's doing well, which side's paying, and all that sort of stuff. Like it's pretty much somebody's just writing a sketch on the blackboard showing you where to go at the time, isn't it?
I have to admit, it does help. It does help. Yeah.
Send them off early, you say.
Yeah. And I'm interested, mate, because BP lives in Sydney and I live just north of Brisbane where you flew into and then drove down. And so that drive you've done down there, how long did you take to go from Brisbane to Sydney?
10 days.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's good. That's
a day's drive for a normal Aussie.
No.
10 days. You must have seen some amazing things. What were your favourite spots?
Took me 9 months to get from Adelaide to Noosa.
Yeah, but you got lost.
10 days is nothing. You can get lost in that area.
Did you have any favourite spots you visited?
Jesus, I don't know. I would say, so instead of going to Byron, well, actually,
don't skip Byron. That's off the loop now.
Yeah, exactly. So we went to Byron Bay and hated it.
Yes.
We got a fine the first night trying to camp. So we took fine, and then we went to Lennox Head instead.
Perfect. Beautiful. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great spot. We went to Springbrook National Park.
Nice.
Yeah, went for a bit of a walk there. But I'd say my favourite spot would have been.
Come on, say
my God.
You can do it. You can do it. Come on, say it. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. I'm waiting for it.
Put the pressure up, why don't you?
I know where you're going.
I know where I'm going.
Down.
Come on, you can do it.
Settle down. Don't go give it away. It's a secret.
It was a beach near Lennox Head, but anyway, basically it was massive, long
far
beach,
north,
middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Actually, if you give me a sec, I actually have my.
We're here for you, mate. Take your time. There's only 1 million people around the world listening while you Google.
They can wait. This is driving me nuts. We have it here. I just need to pull it up on the thing.
No,
never mind.
Doesn't matter.
Cape
But
Smoky Cape Lighthouse.
Smoky Cape. Now that's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Beautiful place. Well, I was hoping you were going to say Crescent Head. Crescent Head is my favourite all-time place.
It is beautiful there.
Which one is that?
Crescent Head.
Just above Port Macquarie, you would have had to drive 20 kilometres off the road to go to it. You probably didn't go to it, but it's probably one of the greatest waves in Australia. If you like a surf,
right-hander,
and you got about a kilometre where you catch a wave and you just surf and surf and surf. You get one wave a day, but you're on that wave for a good 5 minutes. Like it's pretty amazing. And so it's chock-a-block full of people there, but it's a beautiful part of the world. But that whole drive for the international listeners driving from Brisbane down to Sydney,
it's beautiful. It is beautiful.
So many hidden spots and beautiful spots, and so I'm so glad you did that. You would have had you've been spoiled. Like your visit to Australia will be the highlight of your life. I think you got to sail with Lucy. You're living together now. You win the world champs. You got to visit all these beautiful places.
Went to Smoky Cape.
It's Smoky Cape. Yeah. I mean, it's as good as life gets. What you've just done, my friend, and so well done.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks. Yeah, no, it was pretty spectacular. I have to say, like we're still coming. We're still on the down from it.
Yeah, I was going to say, how are you going now? Because I guess there was a little bit of not knowing what to expect. You've planned this trip. You've come down here. You obviously had it in your expectations to do well in the regatta.
Maybe they didn't have any expectations.
No, this is my point. Yeah. You've driven down from. It's good having you next to me because I can actually respond to you in a different way. But no, the point is that you've got your camper van. You've taken a trip down. You've done some walking. You've done some cruising. You get to Wallara. You get your boat. You go sailing. You win the world. You go home. I mean, that's really it, isn't it? In a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's like if it was a TV series.
Could you drag it out any longer, you reckon?
Oh, that's one episode. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Have you heard it discussed like that before?
Yeah, no. No. No, it was pretty magical, I have to admit. Yeah,
good on you. Magnificent.
Yeah.
Love it.
We'll transfer off the B14s, but congratulations, fantastic performance. But one thing, I think you're like 3 times, I'm going off memory here, 3 times Irish Fireball champion.
Oh, the Fireball.
Not 3 times, but I did. I won the Nationals once, but the other time I was actually crewing.
Okay.
Still champion.
Yeah,
but the reason I wanted to bring it up and what I'm trying to get to is you just got an old boat. Like you're not some wealthy bloke. You've just you're a young lad trying to get ahead, and you just went and got an old boat and fully restored it, didn't you? That's what happened, isn't it?
Well, yes. Well, actually, funny you mention it. So basically, the Fireball class is a bit dead in Ireland, and there was.
So did you just race yourself and win the national sailing against yourself? Is that what you?
No. I couldn't do that. So what I did instead was I bought. In total, I think I bought 8 Fireballs, each one in a barn, all needed restoring, and I restored each one separately, obviously.
Wow.
Sold them to different people in my home club, and now we've got a roaring fleet of
20 of 8 Fireballs.
No, the ball.
I'm only joking.
No, but no, that is just incredible. So you've hunted out the old boats.
This story is growing by the second.
Well, I mean, this guy's he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. He's got everything.
He's a ginger, though. He's a ginger. Can we have a ginger Jesus?
Yes. This is, it is amazing, you've just given sailing talent and then this whole approach to just bringing a class back to life. It's beautiful, mate. It is.
Well, it was nice. It was good fun. I mean, I have to say, even just being able to race the Fireball against 20 other boats was a hell of a lot better than racing it against 8 other boats.
I want to talk about. Can we just go back to sailing for a second? Your philosophy on the water.
Yeah.
Sorry to go back.
What a strange, obtuse questions, though. What does that mean?
What it means is, I want to know. You've come down to Australia, for example, on the B14s. You've done all your stuff with the Fireballs. We're hearing you're winning regattas and this and that. What is your philosophy on the water in terms of you get out there, you look around?
Are you talking about, are you trying to win or are you trying to just enjoy it? Is that what you're talking about? That philosophical approach like that?
Yeah, but also, like on the water.
Oh, how you do your strategy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you thinking about?
Well, I'm actually not really sure what I think about. It depends. It depends on the situation. Like when I'm racing, I'm very competitive, but I could very happily not race ever again. Do you know what I mean? Like I would very happily, if somebody handed me a boat that I liked, I would go and race it, or not race it. I would go and sail it, like literally, and I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Do you see things on the water that, in terms of shifts, or is that where your talent is?
Maybe I suppose I can always see the shift in the water. If you look up the course far enough, you know it's coming. But I mean, actually, no, that depends. Nowadays I sail in the River X and it's just brown. You can't see a bloody thing. So.
No, the reason I say that is because I was lucky enough to sail with Sandy Higgins in the Ep2 Worlds, who just won the 505 Worlds. And he's come off the 505, and he's done tactician for us on the Etchels, and he's very similar. His attitude, and you've sailed with him a lot. He's the most relaxed and calm person I've ever met, and he just nails every shift. And if it's not the right shift, he works on getting to the right shift, and it's an amazing mindset that I love. And I'm thinking, do you have that? Is that what I'm talking about?
Oh, well, I don't. To be honest, I don't really know. I never thought about what I did until I was asked to do a bit of coaching 2 years ago.
Yep.
3 years. And then I had to sort of think about what I did and try and explain it to people. But I actually found I lost the instinct that I had.
After coaching?
Yeah, because then you get back on the water and you start thinking about what you're doing.
Overanalyze it.
It slows you down. So nowadays I'm trying to get away from that. I don't coach anymore, and I'm just trying to.
Was that your problem, Jay?
No. I would, sorry to talk over you there, Chris, but I would argue for most people, coaching, especially if you're young, coaching is a really good way to solidify some of your thought process, because what you do is you've got to analyze everything you do. You've got to quantify it. And what you're saying, what I'm hearing from you, my friend, is that you do it instinctively, and by suddenly
some of the best sailors do.
But by quantifying it now, then you suddenly, when you're in that situation, instead of just relaxing and doing it, you're suddenly going, you start thinking about it, and you doubt your process. That's what you've picked up from what you're saying. Whereas for most people, I would argue, particularly people that are process driven, doing some coaching is a much better way of improving your sailing. But you're more instinctively driven. And so, therefore, the process for you is just to relax and trust your instincts. And
fair call.
And so, for someone like me, for someone like me who does a lot of coaching, I have to recognise. I would expect to recognise that in Chris and not try and take that away from him. That confidence. So you sail on confidence is my thought process.
So,
yes.
And I think that's very similar to Sandy.
Yeah. Sandy's a very natural. Let's not get distracted.
But like Chris.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah. But they're both world championships. World champions.
Yeah.
So
we're just podcasters.
Yeah. All right. We've interviewed you a heap. Like, in terms of podcasters, are we the best? I was just going to say no. We've been buying smoke and talking about you, but we were just going to try and get some sort of compliments from you, but it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, come on, lads. Chris, I was about to swear there, but I need to be careful. Seriously, it's great.
You can never have a bad time with an Irishman.
No.
You can't. It's just not, it's not possible. It's wonderful, mate. And I mean, for you, if we get philosophical, BP tried to go philosophical on the tactics and the way you sail, but from the actual whole sport of sailing, what I've heard you say is that it doesn't care. You don't care if you're racing, as long as you're sailing. That's where you're happy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
All right. So,
and that I reckon is the secret to being a good sailor.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But let's go one step further. One step further. You're obviously super talented. We know that, and and you're a cracking bloke.
Or Lucy is.
What, a cracking bloke?
Oh, super talented.
No. But the point is, what do you want to get out of this? You just want to keep doing what you're doing? Do you think there's an opportunity for you to, go to the next level and give it a go at a higher level?
Well, I have given it lots of thought over the years. The trouble is, if you don't get in there early, you sort of haven't really got a chance. And
well, you're 24, so I mean, how much early do you want to be in?
No, it depends.
Well,
it depends.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm on about Olympics, that kind of thing. But yeah, trouble is, I never had the money to compete with the people I was racing against.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's understandable.
It's clear.
Yeah. So essentially, I was always sort of punching above my weight because I'm not very big, and like I struggle with that. And now there's not many.
Does that mean you're sort of like when you punch, you're punching uphill? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. But yeah. So and nowadays there's not many classes left in the Olympics that somebody of my weight can actually sail competitively. So I'm just happy just to be on the water.
I get that. But there is.
For him,
the industry is the industry now, and what I'm saying is that there's a lot of paths for you to go down. Is it something you're thinking about, or is it you just want to just take your own path, just go for it?
Well, I mean, as of now, I'm quite happy with the way things are. Like I actually work with Lucy as well. The two of us work together.
Wow.
And so we sail together, work together, live
Wow.
together. Like honestly, I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing now. And if I went off doing pro sailing, I think I might get a bit sick of it actually.
Understood.
Yeah. Well, that's a very mature thought process, my friend, is what I'll say, because it is a difficult life, and you are away from family.
Not if you're doing it together.
Yeah, but if you are with Lucy. Can I ask, it sounds like Lucy's been a great thing in your life. Meeting Lucy has been very, very important to you.
Yeah, well, I would never have gone to Sydney if it wasn't for her. So I would never have won a Worlds if it wasn't for her.
Well, the other thing, are they your undies on the dryer in the background there?
No,
No, well, you know what it's like. They're it's great to have companionship.
It sounds like, and so Lucy, if you go to the videos, if you want to look up Chris on YouTube, you can see some of his videos on YouTube, and he does some amazing stuff, and it's nice, and you'll be able to see Lucy on there. So I think you just publish under your name, Chris Bateman, don't you?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you go onto YouTube, you'll be able to see some of that. But it sounds to me that, until you meet that right person, it takes a combination, like in anything in life. You can't necessarily do it all by yourself, and it takes a village. But in your case, that you've got that little village with you and Lucy, and that it sounds like that you guys have just got that nice little combination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, we do. So it makes a world of a difference. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you, mate. Like,
no, I mean, unbelievable. I mean,
it is
to come away with the World Championships on that tour, and to
But all the things, like sailing with his little brother when he was 9 and winning the All Irish Championships, restoring all the fireballs, winning the B14s with just zero practice. On the harbour, yep, sure, fine. Let's concede.
With some untested North Sails.
I mean, well, Squawk's going to be happy.
Squawky will be so stoked.
He's the head of North Sails in Australia. It's... And the relationship with Lucy, it sounds great, and we hope it continues for you, mate. Like, I really do want to say, when I said to BP coming into this discussion, I said, I can't wait to have this conversation, because I feel that this guy is the future. Everything he seems to be doing is great, and I really wanted to celebrate you, my friend. And I would love, when we're in Ireland or when you're back in Oz, look us up, or just give us a call if anything exciting's happening, and we'll put you back on bar karate. But we're very happy to have met you. I feel like you're a pretty cool dude.
Oh, well, the feeling's mutual like that. No, I appreciate being on the podcast. No.
It's cool. All right, mate, we'll call it there because we're sort of already up to an hour in conversation. But again, I suspect we'll be talking to you for about the next 20 years, and we'll be just awed by your performances over that next 20 years.
I guess where I was heading was, don't be afraid, mate. Take it on.
Yeah.
Take it on. Mate, look me up. When I'm in the UK, you touch base with me and look me up. I'd love to take you for a sail on my boats and... Mate, just hang out. I think it's a great life you got in front of you.
Cheers, lads. Cheers.
Good on you, mate.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, lads.
Well done, buddy.
But I know you can tell, but I really enjoyed that chat. Bit crinkly on the audio, but it was such a great approach to life. I just laughed and laughed the whole time. I don't know how you felt, mate.
Yeah, mate, it was pretty cool. I mean, some of the things that the way he approached it, it's how it should be. You should just get into it, and you should love it and enjoy it, and that came through pretty strongly, fair and square.
I mean, from a kid's perspective, listening, you just don't need to go crazy. You just need to work on your talent, and. That's what this bloke did. That's what Chris did. It was amazing. Super impressed. I can't wait to see how his career plays out. I think it's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting to follow it.
Yeah. What also will be interesting, my friend, is our friends at Radix Nutrition. They've got their original meal range going at the moment, the ultra meal range and the keto meal range. Now, I think that's an important discussion because...
Well, for those who have been following the Mini 580 Globe race, transatlantic has come to an end. They've pulled up into the Caribbean after crossing the Atlantic. Those little boats, they've made it across. We know for a fact there's a few of them that are supporting the Radix diet, so it works. Give it a crack.
Yeah, I've been interested. Like, we sort of have touched on the race. The main race starts shortly, but that they're not fast boats. Like it's 2 weeks till.
Well, they're 19 feet long. They're not exact. I mean, want to say that the bigger sister, if you like, or bigger brother, the Mini 650s, which have been around since 1977. Well, I can tell you that they're fast boats.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting one for sure.
Yeah, but I guess I was going with the not fast boats. They get underway with they start lapping the world in 2 weeks. The race starts in exactly this time in a fortnight. So they want to make sure they do have the Radix on board. And so with that in mind, if they go to Radix Nutrition, use Bar Karate as the discount code, they'll get a discount on us. I know, as you said, a bunch of them have done that. So, yeah, good luck to all those competitors and happy days, mate. Right, in other news, this is an interesting one for you, my friend. The entries for the ORC Double-Handed World Championships which are on 7 to 13 September, have opened up. So if you're into double-handed racing, you want to win the ORC World Championships, they're hosted on the Adriatic in Monfalcone in Italy, and that one will be interesting. So September will be great.
Yes, I've actually looked at this, and it is on the radar. So stand by on that one.
Yeah, are you going to go?
Well, I'm gonna look into it. We've got options.
Good on you, mate. Good on you.
Why not?
Yeah. I'm excited for you. Just another reminder for those based in Melbourne. the Golden Lily discussion we're at Sandringham Yacht Club is Tuesday night coming up. Did get a bunch of emails from the host of that event, our great friend Alistair Murray, thanking us for promoting it, and it will be a great event and great night. Certainly something that you would.
Last week I put the link to the episode we did with her, which was way back in episode 65, which is best part of 4.5 years ago. When you listen to her speak then and speak now, she's come a long way in 4.5 years, but the story remains the same, and it was, to this day, remains one of my most, treasured episode. So episode 65, if you want to get a warm-up of the Golden Lily, or you can't make it to Sandringham, get on to episode 65 and hear the story as it stood back then, which would be no different to what it is now.
Yeah. Another one, we've got the world. If you're in a sailing class, you need one of those special people that just promotes and pushes and does everything, and every class hopefully has someone like that. Certainly the successful ones do. And we've discovered a new friend in our listening audience, a guy called Rob Lott, and he has sent in an email just to ask us to promote a whole bunch of events based around beach catamarans. So, I don't know what you did then, BP, but that was some funny audio around beach catamarans. And so he has let us know about on February 15, the French Island, around French Island from Cowes Yacht Club. That's an event that's coming up. So if you're interested and based around there, that's a good one. March 8 to 10 is the Catamaran State Titles at Summers Yacht Club. Mosquito Mark 1s, Arrows, Nacras, Vipers. The Taipan Titles at Albury Wodonga, March 8 and 10. The Mark II Titles in April 12 to 13 at Rye Yacht Club. It's a lot of fun, this event, run with a little bit of fun involved in the mind, so enjoy that one. The Lake Boga Easter Regatta, definitely the best event of the year, so that's an interesting one. Lake Boga for Easter, April 18 to 21. I feel if that's the best event of the year, well, people should just automatically go and get a cat and give that one a go. What do you think, bud?
Yeah, well, we sort of bang on this a fair bit. If you want your events plugged, we can do it. So this is a good example of it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there'll be a group chat around the campfire at night time.
That's exactly why we do this, because we don't really. We're not biased toward what class is best or what's worst. Basically, we just want people to go sailing. That's why we do bar karate. We just want people to go sailing, and that's what Rob has listened to that message, and we'll promote any event, and so good on him. That's why we gave him the message. Now we got to switch into the Jack Lloyd Listener of the Week, my friend.
Well, talk about going sailing.
Yep. And our friends, remember, if you are contributing, and we think that you've sent us a great message, you of course will win a couple of $100 voucher from our friends at Vycobi, and you can choose whatever you want from their amazing their gear, their clothing, their technical clothing, and all the sailing race gear that we've got as well. So it's definitely worth it. And last week we put out a call to convince Jackie, and Jackie's my wife. She has never shown interest in sailing. In the last week, she has suddenly mentioned that perhaps we should go sailing together, and what class. And it started by me raising the discussion around, we discovered that the Taser Worlds are in fantastic location, mid 2026, but they're also in Lake Garda, middle of this year as well. So they've got a couple of amazing venues lined up. And then our friends at the Hobie Cat, Susie and Cam, found out about this discussion, and they were hammering Jackie through the week. And I thought, well, let's open it up for everyone. And interestingly, our friend Rob Lott has also sent another email. So this is what I talk about passion. And he wrote, the answer has to be the mosquito. He loves it. A lightweight bait, easy to move on and off the beach. A platform that only weighs 55 kilos. That's amazing. Easy to rig, can be sailed with or without jib and kite. to convince you, I can lend you a boat to sail at Rye, Victoria on the 12th to 13th of April. And this is a fun event. Keeps kids in the boats and on the water. Currently, we have competitive boats for sale in Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. All new boats can be made from either Chris Craft mould or the denim mould. So details on the Mosquito website. There's a man with some passion there, BP.
Yes, no question. Well, I reckon you should go down and do that event just for the sake of it. I mean, if there's going to be a boat event, why not?
Because I haven't got any time off until June, my friend. But that's all right. Yeah, and there's been a whole bunch more have come through. Ian Taylor has come in. He has sent a lot of info. Great to hear Jackie's getting interested in sailing. I'm not here to sell either to you, so he's focused in on the Taser or Hobie decision. He has been sailing the Tasers for the past 6 years with his kids, so he's not too biased. He sent me some information on the Hobie Cat Nationals, which are in Geograph Bay in Western Australia, 28 December to 5 January, and full links there. But then he said not only are the 26 Taser Worlds in Okinawa in Japan, the 25 Worlds are in Lake Garda in Italy this year. So, and then realistically...
Like the sail.
Yeah, wonderful, isn't it? Just beautiful. But realistically, the Taser Nationals would be on my doorstep in RQ in January 26, and you get to sail against your mate and mine, Mr. Alistair Murray, AMAM, which is just fantastic. And then he sent me a whole link to a bunch of videos. So he may be a little bit biased. I will say that AMAM also has sent an email, and he has definitely come down on the Taser side. So... at the moment, that is the leader. We've got the Mosquitoes, the Tasers, the Hobies. I'm expecting more. Have you got any thoughts of what we should do, BP?
Well, I've come up through, done a bit of tasering. I reckon that would be a great class to get into. It's family friendly and lots of boats. And the events are really good fun.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so I feel other classes should weigh in. It's basically, let's be honest, this is just a fun way to try and get people to come in and promote their class. That's all we're really trying to do. A bit of humour about it, but it should be something that people should jump onto, is what I would suggest. Another interesting things, my friend, we got Charles Dennison sending a little note talking about the IQ4. Remember all this discussion we've had about the finals format for IQ4s, all that,
and how confusing it is.
Yeah, and and how it can be sort of so random as to who wins. I wanted to discuss this because we just had the international games in Lanzarote, and with the finals format, they've tested out a new series, a way to decide their champion. So what they've done now is on the quarterfinals, the sailors ranked 5th to 8 will compete, with the top 2 advancing to the semi-final. The top 2 from the quarterfinal meet the sailors ranked 4th and 3rd from the opening series, and the best 2 move again forward in the grand final. Those top 2 from the semi will then join the top 2 from the opening series. So people that have placed 1 and 2. And the first sailor to win 2 races will be crowned champion. You get a reward for being the leader of the opening series. So you enter the grand final with 1 race win overall.
So effectively, you only have to win 1 race.
You got it, my friend. The second ranked sailor enters with 0, and the final ranking is decided based on the numbers of the bullets and finishing order in the last race. Okay. Now, that is all very, very relevant, and we appreciate that information. But I think, did you see the results?
No, I didn't. But yeah. I can tell you that I like that system.
Okay, well, I'll give you more reason to like it, because Emma Wilson won the women's, and Johan So won the men's. But Johan was the leading sailor after the opening round. In the final, in the first race, he fell on the first downwind, but then still wins the Worlds because he went out and won the next race.
There you go.
So, it's sort of...
As compared to our discussion about the Olympics.
and our friend Emma, who
Yes.
obviously went and had that bronze medal, and now she's got the win that she so greatly deserves because it happened to her at the Worlds. So if you haven't listened to our interview with Emma, it's on Bar Karate. Jump onto that one as well. But so new format, looking to be a little bit fairer and has that whole finals feel as well to it as well. So it's probably a great outcome. Congratulations to the fleet to work that one out. So I thought that
100%.
yeah. Right, and then the last one, BP, on messages, I got included in a little message group, and they sent me a link to a discussion, a story that someone shared. If you don't mind, I'll read it to you. Just having a drink and a chat with a bloke in my local last night, I discovered he was worth around £2 million, and he told me the amazing story of how he got so rich. Basically, he left school. He had little or no formal qualifications, but he was good with his hands and he knew how to sell. He knew he was never going to make it in an office job, so it was nose to the grindstone time. He left school at 15 and bought an old series Land Rover and spent a few weeks fixing it up, and then he sold it for profit. He then used the money to buy another and so on, and he did this a lot over the next 35 years, buying, repairing, selling and buying again. He eventually moved into Defenders in the 90s and then onto Range Rovers in the last 8 or 9 years. Even during the real bad times, he plugged away. He worked long hours, as you do in the Land Rover trade, sometimes not seeing his wife and kids for days in pursuit of his goal. Then his uncle died and left him £2 million. A real heartwarming story.
Love it.
I just wish Bicey was here.
All that hard work pays off.
I love it. It's so cool. Dear. Yeah, Land Rovers, mate. Anyway, well, Bicey's not here to answer, so he can suffer. Cool. And that obviously leads us to this.
It's hot time with Bice.
No Bice? Do we do it? We don't really have much we want to talk about. I just want to talk about Sail GP.
Well, I mean, once again, Sail GPs gets in the way of the episode's Bar Karate, and a lot of sailing seems to get in the way of it as well. But here we are, Sail GP weekend. I mean, hot time with Bice. I'm pretty sure that'd be the top topic, wouldn't it?
It's the only topic really at the moment. It's you're able to watch it. It's in your home turf at the moment. I'm here. Yeah. It's pretty cool, isn't it? The things.
Oh, yesterday I've got to say, there was some pretty good sailing, good racing, but you've got to dip your hat to Slingers. His starts are 4 out of 4, pretty well.
Yeah, you're 100% right. So as we record, it was Saturday night when we started this record. We're finishing off Sunday morning. So there's another day of racing still to go. We're about to head off to that. Got to madly put this episode together so we can fulfil that contract. The racing was awesome. So we got a lot of cloud cover over the course yesterday. It wasn't beautiful blue skies, and we probably won't get it today, but there was plenty of wind. They were on the medium-sized rigs and in the high wind foils, so they had the T-foils on. It's definitely changed the game, the T-foils. I think you'd agree, BP?
Yeah, and I think you're sort of seeing them coming to terms with how they react now.
Yeah.
In saying that, there's a couple of teams that are, I'm not going to use the word disappointing, but seem to either be struggling or haven't found the rhythm. And one of those teams, you've got to say the Kiwis.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I've been too scared to ask the boys. Like I see them non-stop, and I just don't want. It's trying to be respectful. You don't want to. We're not journalists. We're here having fun. We're trying to promote the sport. I don't want to make.
Yeah, but we're allowed to observe, and when we.
But I don't want to upset them by going, "Oh, what are you doing wrong?" Throwing blame around or anything.
Something that's been wrong. It's like everything. You're out there, and it's just noticeable. That there seems to be something going on.
It's hard, isn't it? And the other one that's interesting, when you watch them sail, the Brazilian teams seem to sail really well. Like I see them in training, they have these amazing elements of brilliance. Like they look like they're sailing the boat really well, but then they're not going so well yet. And I just wonder if it's just a little lack of confidence or something like that. It's so close, it's only marginal, tiny differences. I honestly think the Brazilian team are going to be really, really good very quickly. I just think they have got to work out how to do it on the race course, but on the practice track, they're going great. They look amazing. It's when it comes down to racing.
The other end of the spectrum, Australia obviously leading the way, but then the GBR and the Spanish and the French having a real crack. The French in their first regatta back, pretty well on the pace.
Yeah, yep. Fantastic performance. Exactly right. Spain looking red hot. So Spain tend to be the fastest boat out there. Looking at the data, the Brits are right there. The Aussies.
The crazy thing, we went and watched it yesterday at the Palace, my Drummoyne Sailing Club, and I took my wife down there. And you know what she noticed?
What's that?
She said, "Why does Spain seem to be the fastest boat on the track? Why are the Spanish numbers always high?"
Yes.
Good pickup.
Yeah. She's a smart lady, your wife. So that's exactly right. But the Aussie VMG is always the highest.
Yes.
And your point about the starting in the practice races on the Friday, the Aussies dominated the starts there. They dominated yesterday, and that very clearly comes over. Their platform is very, very stable. On the big turn downs, the big barrelways, particularly off the start, they're around that first mark. That's the one where everything gets really funky, and the Aussies are super stable. Their ride height is the highest ride height still. I think Jace has to be commended for his performance. He's definitely got the boat worked out. Chris Draper stepped in. That whole combination of process has gone really well. I'm wondering, here's a theory. Draper is about half the size of the Seagull, Kyle Langford. So they've pulled quite a bit of size out of the boat. And I just wonder, could it be something like that? There's a lot of confidence in the team when I talk to the team. I reckon Sammy Newton's got bigger.
Well, I can tell you, I was at the Etchell Nationals with him, and he's definitely
he's a unit.
He's definitely he's entering into the unit category. Yes, I was just about to say.
And not in a negative way. Not saying he's getting fat at all. The complete opposite.
No,
he's rock solid.
No, I did see a little Facebook post of his training sessions the other day, so that was good.
Yeah.
So he's definitely putting in the hard yards.
Yeah, but I think we're seeing an emergence of some leading teams. It's sort of Australia, the UK. The UK, Dylan has to be congratulated. He's just stepped straight into that boat. It's going fantastic.
100%.
The fact that they've got such a great, solid team. I think the teamwork thing is the thing that's jumping out at me. The work of the flight controllers and that team in combination of how you work together is what is everything. So the UK team doing a great job. The Aussies, perfect. The French, again, as you said, they jumped straight in. We'll see how they go today. It'll be interesting. But the Spanish team...
Well, I'm on the harbour here looking out the window. We've got a real light little westerly here today at the moment. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, obviously, so we'll see what happens during the afternoon. It could be a very tricky day on the harbour.
Exactly.
Potentially
right.
a light east-southeasterly, below 10 knots. So we'll see what happens.
That would be the worst outcome possible.
Yes, the worst outcome possible. But with this sort of breeze in the morning, it can be very fickle during the day.
Yeah. So there you go. Heard it from BP first. We're going to publish this before racing, so you will able to listen in. But the sort of, I think the British, the Aussies, a key strength, and then the rest of them, like the Danes.
Well, I think that the Swiss need to be mentioned. Had a good day yesterday. They won bad race, but had a bullet and sort of found themselves, mid to top fleet as well. So they sort of found something, and That was really pleasing to see.
Yeah, good. You're picking up everything, BP. That's exactly.
Yeah, I'm all over it, mate. I'm all over the sport. I'm all over it.
All over it. So you'll tell us who's going to win today, then?
Yeah, no, it's definitely the Aussies, mate.
Oh no, but it's going to a lot of wins. If your call on the lot of wins, I reckon that changes the variables somewhat because it's going to be even more confusing. Because remember, the light wind foil is still the old L foil.
Yes.
So if it's under 10 knots, I'll be on those light wind foils. If it's under 10 knots, likely only 3 races today as well. This new 4-race thing is great.
Love it.
Love
it. Yep.
But at this stage, once it goes under 10 knots, it's likely they'll drop back to 3 races. That's sort of their decision profile, as far as I can see, or I know.
Yeah, you're just on foiling, aren't you? So it's that's got to be taken into consideration.
The new light wind foils come in New York at this stage is what's the likely outcome. So that'll be good. And apparently there's a rudder under development as well. So that'll be interesting. So even more speed to come out of the boats, and so it's amazing. It's cool. So much fun.
Awesome.
I'm sure you're in the same boat with that one, but yeah, it is pretty cool. Hopefully we can get Bossy back next week. Obviously, it's another difficult one for us to pull together. Where are you next week, BP? Do you know?
I never know, mate. I'm a rolling stone.
I'll be in Japan. I think Bossy's going to be in the Caribbean, so I'm not quite sure how we're going to.
Well, need to find. Maybe you got to get hold of Fuku, do a Japanese one.
I so want to get Fuku on the show. I was talking to some guests on a super yacht yesterday, and they asked if Japan had any good sailors. They made this sort of random comment about Japanese is not a sailing nation. I said, it's the opposite. They're a fantastic sailing nation. Lot of talent. Do extremely well in the Olympic classes. The America's Cup team, and in fact, one of the best, the sort of iconic Japanese sailors is a bloke called Fuku, Fuku, and that's his name. And having, we all desperately wanted his shirt, but none of us could fit into it. So he's such a lovely man. He's such a lovely man.
He is. Yeah. All right, give that a crack.
Yeah. Cool, bud. All right, great week on the phone on Barkarati. Thanks for everyone for listening to us. Again, just send in any emails to cheers@barkarati.com, and we'll happily hear about your class and events and convince Jackie. Remember, if you jump onto the Radix Nutrition website, use Barkarati as your discount code, and you can get a discount on us. And beyond that, have a great week. Enjoy sailing. Just go out there and enjoy it. Our guest this week just showed us how much fun you can have. And yeah, just the right attitude. And he's really, really great one to see. And we appreciate him taking the time. And it's good to chat to you, my friend, and miss him Bicey, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, we'll be right. We'll get over the hill.